Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for your presentation. It was really interesting. I'm going on with a question that might follow the question that the professor made previously. You mentioned that NGOs are part in the Constitutional Court. Yes, and are these, or is this representation of NGOs regulated by law in these countries? And in the places that you mentioned as Canada or whatever, and if the results of the representations of NGOs as part in the law, as part in the court, have been positive, are there any recommendations for states or countries as Albania, for example, that miss these parts to make a better representation, or for the court to, I don't know, because I'm not a legal specialist, but are there recommendations for regulations by law for the representations of NGOs as part in the Constitutional Court? Thank you. Sorry for misunderstanding.
Thank you. The word of NGOs, I would say, it's broad and very diversified, and unfortunately there is no formal regulation of them. Normally, every country has a statute that NGOs has to respect, and normally there is a sort of list of recognized NGOs. But in the constitution, they are not mentioned, or at least their intervention is justified as groups or persons that are public spirited, but there is no other reference to their statutes or something else. And this would be probably an interest point of suggestion. Maybe it would be really interesting to include some transparency requirements and so on. But at the moment, I don't see it. And so this is a good point to implement. And regarding the question of courts' attitudes to this intervention, I have to underline that unfortunately it is even difficult to judge this kind of intervention and the usefulness that the courts see in this kind of intervention, but because normally in the judgment there is no reference to their contribution, and so it is difficult to see how the judges which was the attitude of the court about this kind of intervention. Sometimes there is a reference, and in particular South Africa Constitutional Court is really an activist one, and sometimes I have found references, but even the limitation of their role. They have said, okay, we are open to this extrajudicial intervention, but they do not have to exceed their role. They have to respect our requirement and to do not go too far in this kind of intervention. But in other contexts, we have no idea, no reference about it. So this is a difficulty to judge.
Thank you. Any other question? I saw a hand. Please go ahead. The floor is.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. It's not actually a question, but practical example of a really successful story of involvement in civil society in the criminal case. And my colleagues from Sarajevo actually know about this case. Recently, one of my colleagues from Russia participated in a human rights session in Geneva, a session of Human Rights Council, and he was arrested on coming back to Russia. As the result, the reasons were not that clear, and actually the judicial process lacked evidence, and only international support and involvement of civil society organizations, of different activists from different countries, and making this case public helped to release him. So after 1 month in imprisonment, due to the involvement of people, he was released.
So, thank you.
It works.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Dear participants, as you see, after a fruitful debate, the session came to the end. On behalf of the participants and the Bedr University, we would like to thank the speakers for joining us today and for their excellent presentation and speeches. We wish you to enjoy staying in Albania, and I am sure that the Bedr University will take care in a proper way. It will be a coffee break for 20 minutes, and I strongly recommend to attend the speech of Mr. Dedia, the head of the Constitutional Court. This session is closed. Thank you very much.